So we've kept the man-hater and the woman-child in the house. I don't know how the British public continue to surprise me. I mean, if Helen Wood can win, anything's possible. Big Brother UK second eviction, and before I even get into what happened tonight, I just need to ask this question. I don't know how many men watch my videos, but if you're a man, leave an emoji in the comments, and also, if you didn't vote for Ali to leave, tell me why, as a man. Because she's claiming to be a feminist, but yet she thinks that men should have a curfew. That's not feminism. I don't understand why anybody would want somebody like that in the house. But anyway, let's get into what happened tonight. As we've seen, there was another rule break, and some of the housemates had been writing on the door in the smoking area, which I did find a bit strange, because Lily was like, oh, I would never vandalise. And Marcello was right. He was like, you wouldn't go into a restaurant and write on a bench, you would get told off for it. Like, exactly. Why do they think it's okay to vandalise in the Big Brother house? She did say that she was using a nail, so it looked as if it was like a chalkboard. So they might have thought, like, they're just kind of scratching it and it'll wipe off, but it's still a bit strange. But Lily was going fucking mental, right? Obviously, she's not getting her juice, she's not getting her sweets, she's not getting her crisps. But she's got a bit of a cheek because she's been the one breaking rules so far. Do you know what I mean? And I did feel bad for Martha. But she wasn't the only one who done it. Now, on Big Brother, they always say there's one rule. On the Late and Live show, they say there's one rule, don't talk about nominations. But then when Big Brother was talking to the housemates, he says rule number 12. I want to see all the rules. The housemates were given a task where they all had to put letters on, and when Big Brother told them a word, they had to spell it. And then Dean was in the diary room, and he was raging because he didn't have any coffee, and they asked him to spell coffee, and he couldn't spell it. Now, I'm dyslexic, right, and even I can spell coffee, but the thing is, when I'm put on the spot, like, I've not got a clue. I could be a master in a subject, and as soon as you put me on the spot or time me, I'm like, I don't know, I've never heard that in my life. Hannah was in the diary room complaining about people's hygiene, and I am going to admit, I am not a tidy person. My room is a mess. However, the rest of the house I'll keep tidy most of the time. I'm not the most hygienic person. I will avoid washing my hair, as you can see, at all costs. But I will clean the toilet after myself if it needs cleaned. I'll clean the bath, I'll clean the shower. Like, if I notice that the floor really needs hoovered, I'll hoover it. I usually do the dishes after myself. I don't really leave them piled up unless I'm just going to go to bed, and I'll do them in the morning. But in that house, people obviously don't want to be voted, so they don't want to make a big issue. And when Dean and that were doing the dishes and they were saying people need to clean up after themselves, why is nobody calling a house meeting? I know that nobody wants to be that person. I would be that person. I would be like, right guys, we need to fucking get a grip. We're meant to be adults here. If you're having a snack, you're having a bowl of cereal, whatever, wash your plate and your spoon. It's not hard. If we're having a meal and we're all eating at the same time, we'll assign the dishes to people each night. And that's it, because we've all got to live here and we've all got to go on, and we don't want the house to be bogging, right? I don't think that there's anything wrong with doing that. And I know that some people would be like, oh, here she goes, another fucking house meeting. But I'd be like, do you want to live like tramps? Or do you want to fucking do your dishes? Because the next time I go there to have a bowl of cereal and I need to wash somebody else's bowl, I'm going to fucking flip. This is not really anything to do with Big Brother, but I used to have a friend who, you'd do the dishes and then the people in the house didn't scrape the plates. So you'd have your hands in the sink washing the plates, and then somebody would put it in with like the peas and the chips and all that on it, and it'd be floating about, like swimming about your hands. I was like, you can't clean dishes in water with food in it. Unrelated to Big Brother, but gives me the boke. Nathan and Rosie, a lot of people on the Late and Live show are not believing it because they're so awkward with each other. But I think that they don't want to come across as being like in a showmance because they think it'll make them a target in the house. Completely different from what it is in Big Brother USA, because as soon as you're in a showmance, you're voted out. But in Big Brother UK, you don't work in alliances, you don't talk about votes, you can't really influence each other in the same way. So it's completely different. And when they were saying that they're private, I think that they meant private with their family. They don't talk about sex or relationships and stuff. So obviously when Lily's like, oh, kiss, and it's making them feel really awkward. And Rosie's just trying to remove herself of the situation. And Emma is just making dirty jokes, which I would as well, and not think anything of it. But then you've got to remember that these people's families are watching, and they're probably going to be embarrassed. So it was time for eviction, and originally when the 4 of these girls were put up, I said that Days was going to go, but then as the week progressed and I found out what Ali had been saying on the Late and Live show, I was like, she needs to go, because there is no space in this world for women who hate men or men who hate women, and I'm just not going to go over it because I just can't stand people discriminating. But anyway, Days ended up leaving, and I really liked Days, to be honest with you. I think that Martha is a bit boring, but only because she hasn't had a lot of screen time. I think that probably she's a good laugh. I would have liked to have seen Lily go just because she gives me the book, and we all know how I feel about Ali. I don't even want to get riled up because it's like 11:30 at night, and if I think about it, I'll not be able to sleep. So I feel like when Days got evicted, she was really relieved. Like, she did seem as if she was just ready to go. And she still seemed really happy, even though she was being booed by some people. And she was just happy to see her friends and family. And she didn't seem nervous or anything when she was being interviewed on the Late and Live show. And I really liked this, and I really wish that she hadn't gone. There was other people in there who should have been gone long before her. So on the Late and Live show, they revealed how they're going to choose the next HOH. And they're going to put all the housemates' pictures in a room, and then they're going to go in individually and smash their pictures, and the final 2 that are left are going to work together, and they're going to nominate together. It's going to be a teamwork situation, and they were asking on the Late and Live show, who would you like to see work together? Some people were saying Baked Potato and Nathan, but I don't know, I think it would be quite interesting to have 2 people that don't really get on that well. It's hard to say at this point, but after the whole government situation, I don't think any of the house are going to want them to be HOH. Hannah seems to be quite level-headed. So I'm thinking it's going to be Hannah and somebody else, but I'm really not sure who. Let me know in the comments who you think it's going to be. So we've seen Marcello for the first time in a few episodes, and it was very interesting because he was saying he was kind of sad that Rosie liked Nathan and that he wasn't going to flirt with her now because he's not into that. Like, he doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, even though it was just kind of like playful flirtatiousness. But Big Brother says, oh, are you looking for somebody else? And then they said, oh, like, Emma's a bit of an old potato. What a fucking thing to say. Imagine even saying that and then having the audacity to go and flirt with somebody. Honestly. But then Days was on the Late and Live show, and she was talking about Marcello. When they were talking about nominations, they were saying Marcello didn't get any votes, and she said that was because when he first went into the house and he was being flirtatious, everybody thought that he was just excited to be in the house. But as time's gone on, and after nominations last time, he's just like, he comes out with really inappropriate things, and a lot of people in the house don't like it, and it's starting to annoy them. And she says, I didn't see him flirting anymore with Rosie than I did with a brick wall. So that just goes to show you how bad he actually is. Because I've been on here saying, do you know what, maybe they're not bothered, maybe he doesn't do it that much, maybe they're just editing him in a bad way. But she's saying that they're all noticing it now and they're not really liking it, so he's probably going to get nominated, unless he's HOH. Oh fuck, I hope he's not. Because when he says to Days, who would you not like to be HOH, she said Marcello, because she doesn't even want to know what would happen in the house if he was in charge. So I guess over the next few days we'll see Marcello flirting with the old potato. Emma's only going to take so much of that before she tells him to get himself to fuck. Oh, by the way, on the Late and Live show tonight, Days said cunt. And they were all like, oh my god, we're so sorry, everybody was freaking out. I was like that, oh, classic. Absolute classic. But let me know what you thought of tonight's episode, and do you think the right person went? And I'll see you again on Sunday. Bye!